See real proof.
This is proof of PSL luxury trading masterclass demonstrated.
Highlighting precise sell entries at the 5,164 to 5,153 zone circled in red.
It's right on your screen. The entry was called from 5162.27 and the outcome was massive profit.
100% hit again. PSL Scientific Method Live, March 5th, 2026. No loss.
Yes, we go through each day trading without any loss recorded.
Meanwhile, frustrated traders watch glitchy robots and red loss charts.
We beat 99% of robots out there.
Algos and other programs fail. Blind, rigid, inconsistent. The difference is clear.
We don't just trade. We anticipate market moves before they even happen, and we prove it in our trading results.
This is not random guessing. It is scientific precision, repeated live every session. Side by side, chaos and losses meet clean PSL arrows and 100% green checkmarks. Repeatable wins. Real mastery. Enroll now in weekly PSL masterclasses. Get the full method, live community, and repeatable results. Click Join the Trading Hub at
Enroll for the masterclass at PSL Luxury Lifestyle brand or systema.io/trading-hub to get into the hub.
And secure your spot at Power 40 Street Funding.
Yes, your spot as a stakeholder at Power 40 Street Funding or systema.io/PSL.
Subscribe and turn on notifications.
Alright, so this is the market we are trading today, and for all of us who are already taking seriously the PSL luxury trading masterclass, yes, you have enrolled for a masterclass. This is a clear demonstration of how our trading calls are sent out and then how we confirm them. So we had already given this call that we want to sell this market from where the price would pull back from 5140 to 5162. So we are going to have a sell limit at 5162.27, and then we'll have second sell limit at 5172.27, and thirdly we'll have our last sell limit at 5177.27. So now we want to see how this is going to happen and see if our setup is played out accurately. So right now we have two entries that have already reached their activation. That is the sell limit at 5162.6.27 and 5172.27, and we have one more entry left at 5177.27. Then our stop loss is around 5182.27. So now we have a sophisticated loss recovery plan where if the market goes to activate all three entries as given, okay, and goes to our stop loss at 5182.27, that will trigger us to re-enter only one of our entries as a sell stop. So right now we have all entries as what? Sell limit, but then we'll be entering the last entry as sell stop, and then we will use the cumulative of the loss sizes for all other entries. So we have first entry that we had at 5162.27, we use 0.01. Then we also use 0.01 at 5172.27, right? And right now we have our third entry that is getting activated at 5177.27. So here we have the market approaching the limit, which is 5182.27. Remember, that is our stop loss, and I said if this happens that the market gets to our stop loss first, then we are going to repeat only the last entry at 5177.27. So like what we are seeing, a wave of a market trying to touch all levels, okay, but it has not yet hit our exit price, which is our stop loss that we trigger in the sophisticated loss recovery plan. Okay, for now all our entries have been activated and we are safe in the market. Yes, our risk price has not been touched, which is our stop loss, and our cumulative risk for all three entries is 350 pips, while our cumulative profit for all three entries is 3,500 pips. So that shows that we are trading a 1:10 risk to reward ratio. This is what we use in our PSL luxury trading program or masterclass program. Okay, so now when we take our entries, we are always following the scientific trading method that anticipates what the market is to do before it does it. Okay, so we are not carried away by our fears or emotions. We do not trade emotionally, we trade scientifically, evidence based trading backed by real science of mathematical sequence, price sequence. Okay, so we're able to call out these entry levels before the market comes to engage them because they are sequential levels that market have to engage with after any point of liquidity has been created. The market needs to test that same point after creation. So first thing is to create the level, next thing is to test the level, and then to gain momentum from the level. So we are taking our entries at key levels where market is expected to gain momentum. We are not taking arbitrary entries, okay, just because we want to trade. No, we take entries that have high probability of gain of momentum towards a direction of our trend projection for the day. So our entries are also consistent with trend trading. And then we trade the trend start and the trend reversal opportunity. So we had seen the setup already, okay, and now we are into the reversal move. So the reversal move, this was a pullback, all right, from 4-2, and right now it has come to all our entry levels and picked up all our entry levels. So now we are at the reversal entry level. Okay, so we are now looking forward to capturing the big move as soon as it starts. So you can see here the market is moving in a retracement direction, but we are taking trend entry. So we are not concerned about the retracement impulse because this is a retracement or correction impulse. Okay, and of course our full trend impulse has been corrected 100%. So anything above our trend impulse will mean what? An expansion move. And we know what expansion means for us. Expansion means that if the market exceeds our expansion limit, there's going to be a trend change. And right now, we are not seeing a break above our most recent trend impulse, whose ISL, also known as impulse start level, is at 5176.94. So as far as there is no break above it, there is no expansion. We are still in correction, which is within a retracement, okay, not a correction phase. So a retracement of a trend phase, not a correction wave. Okay, so this is just a retracement move, and we are trading that confidently because we are scientific traders. We are not arbitrary technical traders. Okay, we are not sentimental traders. All right, neither are we fundamental traders. We are more about scientific trading, and this is in correlation with our mathematical price sequence. So here we want to see whether or not market goes into expansion. We are not expecting the expansion wave because the trend wave for the day has not yet started off fully. This is just the setup. Okay, so the market is at the setup phase, which is the earliest entry point. At this point, also, the indicators have not yet spotted a trend direction yet. The indicators are still biased on either direction, but we are already certain on one projection. Okay, so we are not trading multiple projections, we are trading one projection, which is a sell trend projection. Unless we see that the market violates our trend projection for a sell movement for the day, then we will now do what we call risk mitigation. That's because our initial entry would have already been compromised at 350 pips. Now look at how insignificant that risk is to the reward potential. Okay, reward potential is 3,500 pips if all entries hit their take profit. Okay, and our risk per setup is 350 pips based on the new scaling of gold. So you can see that we are not afraid to take the risk because we know that it opens up the reward. And to make it clear, that even when we accept one-time loss hit, let's assume that this first move now hits our stop loss. You can see our stop loss is very close at 815182, right? 0.27, but the market has not yet triggered it, and the only way the market will trigger it is if it successfully stays above our ISL for our most recent trend impulse at 5176, okay, and then fails to go down. So right now the market has broken that point, which means we are looking at a potential risk of our entries because this has happened. But if that happens, remember, we already have a sophisticated loss recovery plan where the moment we see the market hit 51 82.27, we are going to place a sell stop at 5177.27. All right. So that is going to be how we recover the trade that is lost if it is lost. So, but for now, we are still within the entry. We have not yet seen the loss taking place, but the market is already potentially putting us at risk for that because it's closed above what our ISL, signaling possible expansion wave. Okay. However, there is still a ticker of uh, continuous willingness to reject as expected the upside, but the momentum seems to be a refutational momentum. As you can see, refutational momentum because there are people who would have seen this as an opportunity to buy, right? So they are refuting our sell projection. However, we already have this strong rejection of the upside. Look at our stop losses just here, okay? But the market did not get to that point, okay? And then we are seeing a strong rejection from the downside below our stop loss. So that shows that our entry was originally meant to be protected and safe. However, when it gets compromised, remember our plan is to take an entry with a sell stop instantly, okay, at 5177.27. If we have this entry first taken out, and then we are going to use the cumulative loss size of all three entries. So where we are using the minimum loss size of 0.01 per entry, cumulative loss size will be 0.03 at 5177.27. And this entry now is a guaranteed 3,000 pips profit. Okay, so imagine we raise 350 pips for one setup and then we gain 3,000 pips. It does not equal. Even if we are able to condone multiple times of risk, okay, it will take 10 good times of risk for us to douse out the effect of one profit. So our funds are always safe, our funds are always recoverable, our setups are always secure because our high probable setup cannot be in any way compared with any other trading program everywhere in the world. You see how it looked so intense for us to be ready for a sophisticated loss recovery plan. We were ready, okay? But now you see how confirmed, okay, our setup is, that the market got so close, okay? Let's look at the point of difference. That was less than less than this is less than 20 pips, less than 20 pips for a market that is so highly volatile, less than 20 pips, and we were still in the market. Okay, we were still in the market. So even if we were taken out, look at that, even if we were taken out at 5182, even if that had happened, we would still have got back in at 5177. That was the plan. It was already stated, okay? And this is what we keep doing day in and day out. Average profit move, okay, for the day recovers everything we had accommodated as risk for each setup we trade. So to understand this better and to see this work for anyone, we are recommending the PSL Luxury Trading Masterclass for anyone who wants to understand how we come about our entry setups for each day. And then our masterclass also create opportunity for those who can work with us at PSL Co-work Network. So it's double opportunity. You can learn to master the market using a scientific trading method that comes from the Power Forte Scientific Trading School. This method is our own proprietary trading method. And then you apply that on your own, see how we are able to generate returns for our stakeholders. If you do the same thing with your own capital, imagine how much return you can generate for yourself when the risk to reward ratio is 1:10. Realistically, 1:10, even from loss recovery point of view, 1:10. Then where there is no loss, like in a case like this where there is yet no loss, this is all 10 over 10, 100%. You can see that, right? And we are beating in returns value. Let's look at that. If you had a fund of $200, let's mention that, okay? Which means we are going to take a risk of $35. So let's mention that as it actually is. So what we mean by 350 pips for each setups risk is actually equivalent to $35 per setup, right? And then maximum will now be plus additional 150 pips. If the first time we take our sophisticated loss recovery entry, okay, the entry goes into loss for the first time, that will make a total of what? 500 pips loss. And then minimum profit when we are doing loss recovery will now be 1000 pips. But in this case, we are doing 1000 pips of the cumulative lot size of all our entries. 1000 pips, okay, of the cumulative loss size of all our entries. So that means we lost, let's calculate it, $50, and now we gained in 1000 pips of 0.03 lot size, that is $300. You see now, that is 1:6 risk to reward ratio. How do you see that? So in 50 pips, we lost, what did we lose? Total of $50 out of $200, okay? That was funded. And then in loss recovery, we make $300 minimum. How do you see that? In loss recovery, we make $300 minimum. So that is 1:6 risk to reward ratio. This kind of margin, you don't find it anywhere else. It is only with us in the PSL Luxury Trading Masterclass, for those who are enrolled for it, that this kind of result is achievable, and our setups are repetitive. So these setups occur every day. It's not like we can not find the same setup on the next day. So even if we had to, okay, remember we have a scaling plan of, in within 1 week we intended to scale our initial capital by 100%, right? If you go through all our communication information, you'll see that we talked about scaling first by 100% within the first 7 days, okay, and then to scale from 100% to 10 times within the next 14 days, and then to scale our profit from 10 times to 100 times within the first 30 days. Now let's see if that is really feasible, realistic, and achievable, right? Not just mere assertion of vague expectation. Let's calculate it now. So from loss recovery standpoint alone, let's use the worst case scenario where we actually lost 500 pips from initial entry and the first sophisticated entry. Remember, initial entry gives us a risk tolerance of 350 pips. Then the sophisticated loss recovery entry gives us an additional 150 pips. Okay, that is in cumulative based on the total loss size used. What that translates to is $50 from the $200 capital traded, okay, used for the day's trade setup. All right, then the outcome of our loss recovery that goes into profit for us, minimum of 1000 pips, because we have to first of all balance our account, so we don't go for the full 3500 pips again once we have encountered loss. All right, so minimum of 5, yeah, minimum of 1000 pips. What that translates to is $300. So it means that in our first trade setup, we have already recovered $50 and made a profit of $250. So that is already 100%. Okay, and an additional 25% profit, 125% from one setup in one day. 125% from one setup in one day. So we now have an additional 4 days of the week to topple that. You can see that I say it is realistic. An additional of 5 days or 4 days in the week, since we have 5 trading days, right? So if we have been able to achieve that 1:6 risk to reward ratio, because we encountered initial loss from first setup, and then the sophisticated loss recovery also encountered initial loss from first attempt of loss recovery, it still gives us a profit margin of 125% return on capital while already recovering the full capital. Okay, so $200 now back intact. Then we have an additional $250 from one setup. Isn't that amazing? And this is one day. Now imagine we repeated this. Okay, we have a target of only 100% in first 7 days or first week of trading, but now we achieve more than just that 100%. We have already achieved from the first time of trading a 125% profit with capital still intact or fully recovered. Then we expose the same capital while profit is already set aside, okay, to the next trading day, and the same thing happens again. We still have to repeat 250%. Sorry, 125% profit. If we do this in 5 trading days, just look at the exponential return factor we're talking about. So within the first 7 days, we are nearing 5x or even exceeding 5x. It's actually because 125% translates to, that is 625 times 5, that was 725%. You see that, right? So we are achieving 7.2x. 7.2x within the first 7 days, and the target we set was just 100%. You see how that comes in, and this is the worst case scenario. Despite how this is feasible, we still want to consider that anything can delay us achieving this target. The market could face those fundamental threats. Okay, so what we do is we have to manage our capital by ensuring that we do not expose all of our capital to the market at any given time. We only expose the amount of capital that equates with the total risk we are calculating. So since we are calculating a $50 risk per setup on both initial setup and loss recovery, we are going to fund each account with $50 to begin the day's trade. You see that, right? That means we have $50 set aside that cannot be tampered with if the market goes or any mistake occurs. So we have the opportunity to fund again up to 4 times of funding, okay, from the initial capital we receive from our stakeholders. So this is still convincing for stakeholders that your funds are safe with PSL co-work network, something that you hardly get transparent report from every other trading institution, because the PSL co-work network is more about empowering people, okay, with the fund they need to benefit from the market. We're talking about those who are trained through the master classes. Okay, now they do not have to worry about raising the capital for trading again. Once they have enrolled for the master class, it gives them access to work from the PSL co-work hubs, where they then work according to our instruction, okay, manage funds in the accounts created for our stakeholders, where we have one manager per hub. These funds now they trade it according to the instruction entry call given, just as I post on the WhatsApp status. All right. So just as we post on the WhatsApp status, let's look at that. You can see this post here was given exactly what you are seeing happening right now. So this post was given. What are we talking about here? We have the sell limit, just as I mentioned. We have 5162, 5172, and 5177, right? Then we have our take profit price. You can see the first take profit price is up to 1000 pips, second is 2000 pips, and the third is 3000 pips. If you add them up, okay, and the spread between the entries, this is going to give you over 3500 pips cumulative, right? Then our stop loss is 5182. Now this was the first entry scenario, okay, first entry scenario, and then that entry scenario played out. you can see here the first entry scenario played out where the first entry was taken at 5162, and what happened? The market came down to 5142, just as we had projected. Look at that in the projection arrow here. You see, the projection arrow was pointing downward from 5162, and then we expected to see a pullback from 5142. This is the arrow that went back up, right? So this is the second scenario that proved that. You see, it moved exactly as we had projected from 5162 down to 5142, and then we now did the second call, which is for the movement back to 5172, and that is exactly what happened at the second scenario. You see here, market has gone back to 5172, above what we had called. All right, and then activated all our entries. This is where all our entries were activated at this point, and the high here set on that reversal move, okay, from pullback up was 5180, and now we are seeing the market giving us two entries from 5177 and 5172. These two entries are now held, all right, in profit. And we are not worried about the risk of this trade because, like I've told you, we have a sophisticated loss recovery plan. Okay, then we have one last entry that is still here waiting to run into profit. When that happens, we want to see this market drive home, okay, the profit projection we already have. And this is expected to be a smooth process, even when there happens to be delay due to uncertainties in the global economy, okay, with political events here and there. We still know that our capital is safe because we are only risking a portion of the capital to the market, which is about 25% of the capital to the market once. All right. And yet, after every day, we reevaluate all that has been done, balance our accounts, and we see where we are moving forward, making progress. So our stakeholders have the assurance that their funds are safe with us, while those who are benefiting from the empowerment from our stakeholders funding, we now haven't been trained, be assigned a spot in our co-work hubs where they get assigned jobs to do per day and they earn $5 minimum per hour. Now we give them enough buoy where from the income they earn weekly paid out, that is $5 per hour, working up to 10 hours per week translates into $50 per week. So if they earn this for a month, that would be approximately $200, right? At minimum or at threshold income from working with us. So $200 is enough for anyone working with us to now enroll for any of our 36 masterclass series in order to upgrade their income. The first 5 masterclass series they enroll for qualify them to upgrade their income from the threshold of $5 per hour to $9 per hour. Okay, so they add $1 per hour to their earning threshold from new master classes they enroll for with their own funds. Remember, this enrollment is helping to upgrade their skill, their knowledge that they can apply for themselves. And we already have an advised, program where all they do after attending the master class is now they have got additional knowledge before from the initial masterclass, they are able to work with us, okay, following our instructions. But from the next masterclass, they are able to also trade for themselves. While they have ample time working with us remotely in the co-work hub, okay, they now have another opportunity to earn more than what they are being paid. Because if we are only using $200 to achieve so much value that we pay our hub users for, imagine when they themselves use the same capital for themselves only. That is too much value, and this is what our masterclass makes possible, giving them the same knowledge that we apply in managing our co-workers, the funds for our stakeholders. So look at that, $200 income in a month. One can afford to spend $80 to enroll for our next masterclass series to upgrade their skill. Okay, work for the next month, they keep upgrading. So for the first 5 months, they focus on their learning curve, okay, by enrolling for additional masterclass series. Maybe the first 5 masterclass series, we need the first 5 months of working with us. They are now at a income level of $9, which is the benchmark. All right, $9 is where we position everyone who has made significant contributions to themselves to become real masters of the scientific trading method. Now, from the 6th month, they can start funding their own personal accounts. Why already working with us is a choice, either to continue working with us or to start trading for themselves or to combine the both of them. You see that, right? So a smart person can combine the both, trade for yourself and work with us. So for every setup that is given to manage our stakeholders fund, you can also apply it to your own account. Since you are working from the hub and the hub does not consume all of your time, you only have about 2 hours to contribute to the hub's revenue per day. Okay, the rest hours, if you are in the hub from 9 to 5 p.m., from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., are hours that you spend for yourself. You can use those time to take your personal trade and make your own money. So imagine what we are contributing to the lives of those who are actually part of the PSL luxury lifestyle brand. Either you are a stakeholder where you don't have to be in the hub before you make money. You only have to fund the hub to empower those who are trained through our master classes to earn daily income. These are professionals who otherwise would not have had a stable source of income. They will still have been chasing clients, be competing in global freelance platforms, okay, be sending bids here and there, hoping to get a secure transaction, and one or two times they will get disappointed. These are people who can now boast of having genuine work as members of the PSL co-work network, okay, who are occupying our hub spots and working for the hub to generate income for themselves stably. This is from the PSL co-work network, PSL luxury lifestyle brand. We want you to be part of our growth, be part of our uh, transformational story. Join us as a stakeholder, join us as a trader, enroll for the PSL luxury lifestyle and the PSL luxury trading masterclass. So you can see here, let's look back at the trading that is ongoing. All our entries fully now running, okay? And you see the market moving just as we had projected. If you want to go back to assess our entries for proof sake so that you see that we do not just say it, we actually do it. So this is the last post on my status because these posts are referenceable. That is why I am calling your attention to it. You see, we mentioned here that our first set entry scenario has played out, and that is the first rapid gain of thrust momentum that caused price to dip instantly from 5162 0.27 first sell entry price by 200 pips profit move to 5140, and we want to see the pullback to bring price back to the sell zone for sell entries 2 and 3 while we lock our first sell entry profit at 5142.27 break even and wait for re-entry as scenario 2 from pullback. And all of those meant what you are seeing on the screen right now. Okay, first the price moves into 200 piece profit and we lock 200 piece profit. So we have already taken 200 piece profit from that, and then we now projected the pullback to take us back into our entry zone for re-entry. And the pullback is this move you see here now, taking us back up. So this is what we now reported saying our second scenario has played out almost immediately. Also, the pullback has brought price back into our entry zone. So it is time to look forward to the third scenario of profit as price rejects 5.72 after picking up our entry 3 at 5.77. We look forward to a successful reversal into the profit projection. To learn more, join the KSLO's lifestyle brand, the system.io/. Trading, right? Hub. So now you see that is exactly what happened. So we are not stating what is not happening. You see that we say after picking our third entry at 5177, we want to see price reverse back into our sell projection. And that is exactly what happened. Price picked our what? Third entry, did not go to our stop loss, okay? Rejected the level above it, which was set to protect our entries, and now price is reversing back into our profit projection. All 100% accurate as projected. And interestingly, we did this projection before any of these moves happened. Okay, we did this projection right from this point, and you see the first move that gave us our first profit. This was the pullback move, and this is the reversal move, all happening almost as soon as we give the call. This is how reliable, this is a proof of consistency, a proof of dependability on our powerful scientific trading method. This is live, this is the live market, this is gold price in the international market as traded globally. So you cannot say that what we are doing here is something that is not significant. This is gold. the valuable asset in jewelries, okay, the base of all the ornaments, okay, the wristwatches, the necklaces, the bracelets, all of those luxury goods, okay. This is the same gold. This is international gold price right now, and this is what we are trading. We are specialists in gold. You can see how confidently I'm able to give these projections per time, okay, and how I have been able to prove to you that we are not just trading. We are masters of this, and this is what we train you in our masterclass. So look at how it is going. Look at this right now. Where else can you find such proof of work? Where else can you find such proof of results? Right now, all our entries are in profit, right? All traders who follow this entry are supposed to be in profit in our trading hubs. This is the same result happening on several accounts for all our stakeholders at the same time. It is so much benefit, something you can't find anywhere else, only from PSL Co-work Network. So we are asking you to be part of our Co-work Network. Okay, fund as a stakeholder. Minimum funding stake is $200, which enables us to fund the accounts that are traded by those who are trained from our master classes. Okay, so which means anyone can now be part of the financial market trading without requiring their own capital, without spending money to acquire a funded account. Okay, so we are changing the game from funded account experience to working as traders, earning income to save up their own capital to apply, while we are also training them to have the knowledge and the mastery for actually managing funds. Then we are putting them to real world activity of managing funds for us, for our stakeholders. We train them, we empower them, we deploy them, okay? And we keep them busy in a productive way. Professionals, and at the same time using our hubs to still advance their own personal, professional pursuits and ambitions. You can't find this anywhere else. Our stakeholders are helping us create these hubs where people are trained to work from. So we are creating impact through the kind of job we create. Professional, flexible remote work that beats most of the freelance work opportunities that people go to compete for and yet finding hard to get or even get reliable deals or gigs. Okay? Most of the gigs they get are short-term contracts that expire within a space of 2 weeks at most. When the project cycle is completed, most of them also don't get paid. But now they are given jobs that they can do in a real setting, okay, of managing accounts that help them to get paid while keep the hub functional, and everyone enjoys the benefit of doing so. So if you are listening to me right now and this looks strange to you, it's normal. Okay, we don't expect you as a potential stakeholder to have this technical knowledge. Okay, those who need this knowledge are those who will work for us. So for you, let your money work for you as you become a stakeholder. Fund our weekly masterclass series. Okay, each week you have an opportunity to fund up to 36, yes, 36 hub spots, because we have 36 hubs. So one person per hub can benefit from your funding. If you have $200 split in 30, that's $200 times 36. That is 36 hub spots. But if you have only $200, then you can fund one hub spot and still qualify to earn the monthly returns of 20% per hub spot funded. You see that, right? So 20% per hotspot funded. And interestingly too, we are divesting not just in the co-work spaces we are creating, but also in real housing that we are building for first-time homeowners. And this I have already explained in my most recent YouTube video. So I believe that as a stakeholder, you have no objection to joining PSL Co-work Network, no objection whatsoever to being part of the PSL Luxury Lifestyle brand. And even as a professional who is looking for a workplace, okay, you have no reason not to want to join the PSL family of trained professionals by enrolling for our masterclass series. So the cost of enrolling for our masterclass series for the first time in order for us to test you and see that you are able to commit the time required to work for us. Remember, there is no interview after training. You are only tested and expected to pass a speed test of 36 over 100. So minimum entry barrier, so that nobody will say they have enrolled for our masterclass and failed our test. So we exploited them. There is no exploitation. So once you are enrolled for the masterclass, we test you. If you score 36 over 100, we will still qualify you to work and assign you a hotspot and start giving you tasks to work with. So all you need to be part of this opportunity is to get the first fund of $80 to enroll for our masterclass. Our masterclass remains $80 for now. Okay, in future we can raise the price, but for now it remains $80. So as a professional, plan your finance well. You have now seen an opportunity where you can earn stable, sustainable income. Nothing else should distract you from this goal of joining the PSL family, PSL Co-work Network. All right, this is a job you will be proud of. You can travel anywhere else in the world. We are creating multiple hubs, so which means anywhere you travel to, you are most likely to find a hub someday around your new destination. So feel free to be part of this right now while we are still getting new professionals trained to work with us. Don't miss this opportunity. Get your $80, enroll for the PSL Luxury Trading Masterclass, and get qualified to start working with us in PSL Co-work Network. I believe this session has demonstrated beyond all doubts, okay, that PSL Co-work Network is real. What we do, our work is true, okay, our model is reliable, our funding plan is sustainable, and for those who are funding us, you can auto diversify your income stream through our weekly masterclass series. So all we preach is proven. What are you waiting for? Join us now. Be part of the PSL family. Let us grow together. Let us empower others. Let us improve life in society, helping others to earn income while we also earn stable, secure income. Thank you and welcome.
Yes, and this is our result. You can see how the market turned out, putting us in profit. So we have proven 100% accuracy in our good sell call that was live demonstrated. With this, you now know that joining us is going to be profitable for you. So this is a picture also of our trading hub. You can come and secure your spot right now. Thank you.